welcome back to Creative Shock. I'm your host Gazimus, and always Lime is with me. What's happening?
Not much. It's a Saturday. I had to just go vote, so did that. Went out for some lunch, and then now I'm back to record a podcast with yourself.
I think I think there's something that needs to be addressed. This is the second podcast in like consecutive weeks. This hasn't been done, I think, ever. So
this is we can't even make our joke that like, hey, long time no see, because it's not even funny anymore.
Yeah. So we have honoured our agreement. So probably after this, the next pod will probably be in out 3 months. But we're back to back. The algorithm's not going to know what to do. I'm expecting this channel to like just...
Who knows? It's crazy.
Mr. Beast numbers. Like they're just going to...
the stars
just
of the line.
Fuel the jet.
Not much really been happening in regards to, I guess, deck building with us, because we're kind of both just waiting for the ban list at this point, right? Yeah. I think a lot of people are just chilling out and just waiting. I think it's only 4 days away, 3 days away, pretty close now. But yeah, I was messing with a Water Xander Allies deck, which was kind of fun. Don't really want to touch Crux right now until I figure out whether stuff will be going or not. Yeah. But we have obviously we got the opportunity to try out the Omnidex beta, so we got to do that at locals and stuff. It seems pretty good, pretty clean. Yeah, it does remind me a bit. Reminds me of the Fab one, Gaz, where like you gain points for playing and stuff. And I'm pretty sure that they'll be going the same route where, you know, based on how many points you have, you'll get like benefits and incentives and stuff like that.
Yeah, so the Fab ones are used for like nationals, invites and that. And then the ELO. So I'm assuming they'll be part of that. You probably earn invites depending on points. And then I know that they're going to be like certain promos and that if you're top ranked. And that was good to start using. Because I think like as a community, we're probably tired of using third-party software. And you want that one place to track it. And then along with Omnidex, over time, I'm assuming you're going to be able to submit your deck list there. Path for Silver, it's all going to be in one. It'll be a website, I think, for a foreseeable future, but then maybe an app down the line. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon because app development is costly. But seeing it, using it right now, the beta, it's very clean. It's very clean for like how new it is and where it's at. So
I guess rehashing what you said as well is like you can only play so much for knowing. I mean, like sure, there's incentives in regards to like, you know, the promo packs and stuff, but like I feel as though it gets to a point where you're like can I be bothered doing that? Like it's promo packs or whatever sometimes. So it's like this kind of is what the game desperately needs sooner than later to give people goals and incentives in their own community to push. Because not all people can travel and do big events and stuff. And this kind of gives them an opportunity to at least be, you know, feeling like they're getting somewhere and progressing somewhere with the game.
My only concerns or do have a concern with this is because ELO, I don't think ELO should be affected for locals. I think ELO should only be at tournaments, should only be at regionals and above. Maybe store championships. I'll do store championships and above. I don't think ELO should be involved for locals. And the reason being, new players are going to come. And if I've got ELO points on the line, I'm not going to guide them on the game. Like if I need these points for a reward or I need these points for an invitation, it's going to be sweaty all the time, and I think that's going to have a negative effect on building a community. So I think ELO should only be at store championships and above, and maybe not even at store championships. No, I guess no, you want to win that. So anything where like you are trying to win, I think you should get points at locals, but they shouldn't be ELO. Your ranking shouldn't change, because then you're never... You know, I've come from Fab, and this is a problem Fab has had for a while and still has, is a new person comes with their okay deck and gets curb stomped. They come for another few weeks and they just keep continuing getting curb stomped. They stop coming.
Yeah, so, no, I actually 100% agree. And like,
so that's I think that's something that they'll need to balance, and I'm just going to see how that plays out.
It comes from a point as well that like you I'm probably yourself as well, but mate, like a lot of me, I will go to locals with random stuff quite often, like water and just random shit, because I value the community playing and having fun more than I value me winning. So I'll go with like I've been with Water Sylvie last few weeks. I get curb stomped, I go last. It doesn't matter to me. But this will make it worse because feel like I'll be forced to play properly and play proper decks. And then you're right, it gets very sweaty. New players come in and they're versing people they've been playing for over a year. And it could be a rough situation. Now, I think currently they said you can only have one account and you can be banned if you have two accounts. But I feel as though if you could have like an account that you just fuck around with and you could just like choose to use your fuck around account to play with fun decks and then use your actual account when you want to try, it could be okay. But I think that at the end, what you said is probably just make locals not ranked or make, maybe even every second week not ranked. So at least like you can have, or even actually, you could have like a second day.
I'd have no locals. I'd have like the point system. I'd have ELO is your competitive point system, and then have general points, and like everyone gets a point for playing, and then you might get an additional 2 for winning, something like that. So it's like not marginal, and then anything that's like store champions and above, ELO's on the line. You're trying to win that anyway. It makes sense. Just. Otherwise, you're only going to get people that are taking this game competitive, and I don't know. Can GA survive with just people playing competitive? I don't know. So
I think that's where it has been, right?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like kind of been with only competitive people. So I do agree. I think that another option could be maybe like locals run a second day where it's like casual. They literally don't run Omnidex. They just run like challenge and stuff. And I guess you could just have a fun non-ranked event. But then that's people might just not turn up because they're not getting ELO then.
But then you get the problem of if GA, how they're going to know, like they're going to be like determining what store gets event packets from Omnidex. So look, it's definitely something. I'm not sure if the team's aware of it. If not, like they probably have thought about it. If not, I guess one of us will probably flick them a message or say, he's worried about this, or I'm just judging from our own like experiences of like people playing, losing, it's also like and then not coming
another situation as well is people will get a high rank and choose not to play. I think that happens in Fab as well. But like the way that it works, I think, is that if like let's say you're a top 50 player, you're a demigod Gaz, and you're versing an Iron player, if that Iron player loses, they lose fuck all. If they win, you lose fucking ridiculous amount. So it's like it's nearly not worth you playing because you don't want to risk losing.
So you only have ELO points as store champs because then the person that is ranked high wants to play those events to win prizes. If you just have it at locals, you're gonna have people like protecting ELO and only play at major tournaments, and you want that. Then you don't have people playing locals.
Yeah, so you don't want that.
I just don't think ELO should be involved at locals. That's my opinion. We'll see how it plays out. So yeah, there is going to be some interesting stuff with the Omnidex. And where we have been using it, apart from locals, we've also been using it, I guess, in your online league.
Yep, so Elusive TCG League did use it. We have Amy was the first to hit silver rank in ELO. She's now been sadly taken over by Noel. So Noel, there was a Yeti event yesterday. It was the biggest Yeti event ever. It was 53 players, I think, and they used Omnidex. Noel won that one event, and he instantly went to first in silver. So he got a lot more points because it was such a big event. Apparently, I don't think they had any problems with Omnidex there either. But the exciting thing is, I should have had them in front of me. I don't have them with me. We have the Ordinary Bear alt art.
Yep.
So they're now being handed out at the online webcam league. So if you're American, go jump into Yeti. I think they're raffling them off as well. And then if you're Oceania, or even if you are American, you're living on a weird time zone, you can come jump in the Elusive TCG League on Tuesdays. We are giving out seven a week. So we've got 4 weeks worth. But yeah, League's been fun. I think that leagues will get very big once Omnidex is released because people will want more places to grind and less places to travel.
Yeah.
So I think people will grind those leagues. Those leagues will get quite big. I do believe that once the Omnidex comes out, people will be grinding multiple locals a week. It'll get very fabby as well. Like I remember when I was in Fab, people were grinding like 4, 5, 6. I think Yap was grinding 7 locals at one point a week. So I think people
That's
will be doing
the
that.
magnet. Yeah.
Well. Yeah. Luckily with Omnidex, there is diminishing returns. Veterancy points. If you hit a cap of how many times you're going and playing, you actually lose. You don't get as many points once you've done it for like multiple weeks straight. So people aren't going to get actually. Thanked, or they won't get benefits for going to 7 events a week. And then, as you were saying earlier, like the big events are what will matter. They'll give the most points anyway. So you'll want to do the big events as well. But yeah, moving on to, I guess, we've got the ban list coming up in a few days.
Yeah.
Have you got some cards on your brain that you think will be banned?
So I guess the easy play is just like what's in those categories right now. But then the more interesting thing is I guess the two prominent cards, Avarice and Reckless Conversion, both didn't feature in the top 2 decks. Or the top 1 deck at Ascent. So kind of saying that like, yeah, these cards are a problem, but there are decks that can like play around them. So I don't know if you need a ban. Like, the one card we've discussed that I guess is Varuk, one of my favorite cards. I just don't like versing Wind and that. So if Sword of Avarice doesn't go and they get rid of Varuk, I think that's a mistake.
Okay.
Because
Why?
if you leave Sword of Avarice and you allow that person, Wind Crux player, to dump all their cards, like an Arcane player does, has to dump all their cards or any fire deck, and then you allow them to speed run another 15 card hand and then turn off damage. So there's like no punish to them for the losing cards. You don't give fire away to now like cause damage. However, Varuk does, and they've said it, does mess with their prevent damage mechanics that they're trying, and I'm assuming like Cleric is probably going to play around that too, like judging by the cards that exist already. Can you have Varuk in that game? The question is, you might need Varuk in the game. So you've got Morgan to stop people recovering. Is that going to be enough? I don't know. So long story short, obviously the 2 cards that are highest on category, and maybe Varuk are cards.
Okay.
Yourself, any additional ones?
So my brain's been kind of jumping around in circles. I do believe what you said is right. I think Varuk cancels space for Cleric, maybe. I mean, I don't know. As you said, based on what we've seen Peaceful Reunion, we've seen can't think of what other ones we've seen. Revitalizing Cleanse, all these like defensive healing cards.
Fast cure.
I think Varuk does close space. I don't think there's a world where Avarice doesn't get banned. I think Avarice gets banned, or they errata Ascension to like say you can't pick the same sword, like pick a sword or something. I don't think Avarice dodges it. I think Reckless Conversion is saved. I think like because of, and that's the thing, like it's very interesting. People keep saying, they're like, oh, the top 2 weren't even Ascension or Reckless Conversion decks. They were aggro decks. Aggro decks beat these decks anyway. It doesn't change that those cards aren't fundamentally good. It just changes that, aggro has always beaten those decks anyway.
I actually think Typh is doing enough to Reckless Conversion. Like, I think Typh slows it down enough where Reckless Conversion, you have to play Arcane Rye, whatever element different.
Is there a world where Dream Fairy gets limited?
Nah, there's a lot of ways to remove it. I just think people weren't playing it. Like, there's heaps of ways to remove it.
It is such a strong turn 2. Like, turn 1, you play Arthur. Turn 2, I play Dream Fairy. Or you play Dia, I Dream Fairy. It is a very good card. And I'm just like, there's a lot of cards to get rid of it.
To get rid of it.
There's a lot of cards to get rid of it. And I'm just like, as I've been thinking,
to get rid of it.
I think Varuk,
It.
But yeah, sure. In Rye,
in anything.
what does Lorraine have if they don't have Sword of Seeking out? What does Merlin have?
What's it? What is it? 1-3?
1-2 stealth.
1-2. So
Stealth.
Fire's got Sparkle Light, Focus Flame.
Yeah.
Wind has got all the bounce cards
Yeah.
and its own Dream Fairies. Water's got that Frosted card that does 2 damage.
Freezing Hail.
Freezing
but
Hail, Sink Below.
No one's running them.
Yeah, no one runs them. But I'm saying the cards exist to get rid of it. Water's got that 2-3 that's got True Sight.
Still Water Patrol. Good
Yeah,
card.
I'm like, there's cards there. I like that. That's the. I couldn't disagree more with Dream Fairy.
Yeah, you don't think?
Nah.
So do you feel as though Avarice is probably what 90%?
I'd say yeah, Avarice is probably most likely. Reckless is probably, I reckon, on the fence, and Varuk. If Varuk is pushed out, then it's because the next set can't have it. However, there's going to be another BNR before then, so maybe they keep Varuk until then. But like, yeah, until I get the announcement, like we said, I'm just not gonna be building decks for Auckland until.
What does a world look like without Avarice in your eyes?
I think aggro still exists.
That's stronger.
Yeah, I think Lorraine is probably played, like Crux Lorraine is played over Merlin.
Do people move back to Spirit Ruler? Because at least you get the Drawn Blade draw a card. It's kind of good.
Yeah, but then you can go back to you can go to Crux and like you're clearing that aggro board and you're just slowly getting stronger. Maybe you start playing the Spirit's Blessing, Infusion.
Yeah, Infusion's good.
You just play a different. You play a different style. You use your Ghost Strikes. You use Slay the King. You're just like playing a completely different Crux deck. Probably hurts I might hurt Merlin more than Lorraine. I think you just change your playstyle. I think you just don't rush to level 3. I think you just you work your way up there.
Does Luxem and Terra get an opportunity if Avarice goes?
Potentially, because they'd want a slower game.
And they normally lose when the Lorraine draws 30 cards, right?
Yeah. They want a slower game. So if they're slower, maybe that's what it is. And I think no decks. I think Rye can still manage in an aggro meta. It's just going to be played completely different. I think you just don't play how it was played now.
Yeah, you just don't. You have to play defensively as well.
You have to control the board, and you can. You've got tools to control the board, but that makes you slower. So you don't usually play that way because you're in some matches you want to be able to race. But if the whole meta is one section of the meta is slower, then you can tech for aggro and not worry about into those other Lorraine matches that are going to race to level 3.
I guess, yeah, and I guess where I see it as well, I'm trying to, in my brain right now, I'm trying to say, what is a world without Avarice? What is a world without Reckless? What is a world without Varuk? And, losing Varuk or Reckless doesn't actually detrimentally hit the meta right now as much as what Avarice will. If Rye loses Reckless or doesn't lose Reckless, doesn't actually change much. Because Rye is currently not doing. There's not 6 Ryes in the top 8 currently. There's one every time. So maybe Reckless doesn't necessarily need to be. But then who knows what happens if you hit Avarice? Does then Rye become OP? And then Varuk isn't a lot of people have been saying I don't see why they banned Varuk. Varuk doesn't do anything. No one runs it now. But it's not about now. It's about later. It's about the situation.
Yeah, they've got a BNR. There'll be another BNR before Alchemist Revolute. Why get rid of it now if you're worried about it for that next set? Get rid of it when the next set comes out.
If they leave it in now, Dan Green's triple threat deck is going to be everywhere. The Merlin, Fire Merlin, Erupting, Rending, Dia. That's going to be. I'll make it myself. It's going to be such a strong deck. But then at the same time,
how much
if we lose Avarice, then maybe that deck struggles more as well.
How much stronger is Varuk making that deck?
It means that Dia. It means other Merlins just die. Because you're just erupting through with Varuk out.
Yeah, but erupting hits anyway. It's a skill.
Yeah, but at least they can't Veiling, they can't get the preventative from DR, nothing. They just die.
Yeah.
Because the deer halves the damage. So if you Varuk erupting, they literally just die.
But then but if they don't get rid of Avarice, is the deer then just too oppressive if you don't have Varuk?
That's what I'm saying. If they get rid of Avarice, does that deck survive? I don't know, because I think a lot of Merlin, as you were saying before, a lot of Merlin decks will crunch under the Avarice loss. Maybe they'll...
I think you don't want to... It's hard but for GA to remove ways to finish games, because Water's problem is it can't finish games, so no one plays Water. Now, This is going to lead into our next thing, where we've got strong indications that Proxy's Vault is going to introduce a Water finisher, or a way Water can help finish. So if you take away other decks' abilities to finish games, we already have some decks that take an hour for game one.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't envy the devs at the moment. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of speculation on BNR. I think maybe we'll quickly touch on Proxy's Vault. A few people have already announced that, but essentially Proxy's Vault is going to be material deck cards that are introduced to the game that you can just print and play. And they'll be legal. And then at major events, they'll trade these cards in. And then when the cards are no longer required, they'll take them out, etc., etc. You're not spending money on these cards, so like no one's going to get butthurt that my Quicksilver foil, it's now worthless. I am interested to see how this is going to work.
It's new, it's different.
We'll see how many times I'm making the trip to Office Works to printing color.
I think that I think it's more than one. I don't think they're doing just one. I think
there'll be a set.
Yeah, so hopefully there's some cool stuff in there. I really do need a spice to the game, I guess. Like, I feel as though it has been Lorraine, Merlin, Rye for a long time. And I would love to see some Xander and Sylvie get involved. So whatever they can do to make that happen, I appreciate it. And I think Proxy's Vault's a great thing, as you were saying, because people don't need to spend it's an add-on pack, pay $12 and get these 4 new cards. You actually can just go print them off and play them.
Yeah, I've been trying different Water decks. I tried that Water Eye. I've been mucking around with Water Xander that plays lower, so you can try to use Illuminate Secrets and
it's all cute. It's all cute,
but the problem is if you're not drawing cards, you're not cycling, and unless you have the cards in hand, it just doesn't work. So it is definitely Water needs something. And if they can bring something in Water that also helps with Xander and Sylvie. But maybe that's what the BNR. So I'm not building any new decks until the announcements.
No, it's like I thought about it. I'm like, do I build a deck just without Avarice just to see how we go? And it's like, hey, if it doesn't get banned, then hooray. But if it does, then I'm prepared. But just not worth it. Just wait.
That
Chill
Water
out.
Eye I built had no Reckless in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I took out Reckless and Dispo.
The Water Xander into Mordred just doesn't have any cards I think would get hit. So I was like, yeah, that's fun. Cool. Yeah. But no, we've had a big dint. We only got back 2 weeks ago now, a week and a half ago from America. So it's still like, we do need to probably have a break. This week is a good time to have a break and get back on our podcast.
That's it.
We've also, now that we're kind of working as a team, we do have an interview coming out as well. So look forward to that. That's coming as well. And yeah, not to mention big upcoming store champs and regionals again, right? Like we've got
November is cooking.
So every weekend again.
Every weekend in November, I'll do, I reckon, 80% of them, 80-90%. Some of them you can't do all of them. It's every weekend. And then December, Auckland.
January 13th, regional.
Yeah, regionals.
And we've got potential Sydney regionals that's not official yet, but there might be Sydney regionals coming as well. So
and then February, we're back in the States.
We're back in the States.
So that is I haven't got time off, but it is official.
I have got
because-
time off. I have got time off.
Yeah,
I'll let them know.
I'm buying the tickets, so it doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
me, you, and Yap are making our way back to the States.
Yeah, I heard there's gonna be a documentary with it, right? It's called Gaz and Yap Strikes Back, the 5-3 into a 9-3, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. I need someone to just like, I'll be on a deck they've been testing.
Not Fire Eye.
And then 12 hours before the tournament, I'll be like, I feel like Fire Eye is like the play. You don't understand how bad I want to win a tournament with that deck.
Wait, hold on.
Even though I've done better with Lorraine.
I was going to say, every time you've actually done well, like you've done really well, it's been Fire Lorraine, right? Every single time. Has it ever been Fire Eye? You've done well?
One store champs.
That's it though, right? Nothing online.
Nah.
Oh, so Fire Lorraine is just, maybe it's just your calling.
Yeah, but I just like, because no one's like won a major thing with Rye. Like there's some online ones.
Costa did, mate. Costa did, mate. Come on.
I'll never rate that. I'm not rating that ever. I will say that directly to his face. I don't respect that at all.
Hey, I let you know, at locals, he played Jimmy Lee's Fire Lorraine list the other night, and he swept everyone. And he was like, "Wow, I didn't realize Lorraine was this much fun to play." So we might have a.
You know what? He needs to play. He forgets that there's like other cards in the game.
Yep, and he's miserable on Rye. He is so miserable on Rye.
Rye is an abusive relationship. I don't know why we stick around. We keep expecting it.
Well, he
you'll see like Sean, who made top 8 in at Ascent, and you'll be like, maybe that could be me. Like he like, I looked at the deck very similar, and I'm like, he got the, maybe like the cards came for him, they didn't come for me. Maybe
that's what Costa does. Costa looks at like a first place buy fall list, he plays it and loses. He's like, I don't understand what the fuck's going on.
You know, maybe like I'll get that matchup. Maybe that person, you know, will get the brick, and it's like, nah, it's not happening. Not happening on the next Ascent. I will be playing a deck that I have. One, I'm going to prepare for, or will actually prepare. And two, it'll be something that can actually play into not just what I think will be at the meta, what's probably going to be in the meta.
Look, I'm excited. Hopefully Ranger's good. That's my plan. Speaking of which, just to quickly finish off and quietly, we do have, we are part of the spoiler season coming up. We will be revealing cards at some point. I don't know the exact date yet, but we will be making another little funny skit for you guys for our cards, so be prepared for that. That'll be coming as well.
The cards that we have been provided, I have no ideas yet on how to make into a funny skit so far.
Interesting.
So except maybe the name of the card, which makes absolutely no fucking sense. Who, like, I've got to find out who named this card and
yell at them.
Oh, not yet. Just like see if they're okay. Give them a dictionary. I don't know. Like,
but yeah. Otherwise, guys, that's everything for the podcast. We shall hopefully be again here next week, even unless we're here in 3 months. Who knows? I mean, they're gonna minimum see us in regards to the spoilers coming up that we will get a chance to post. So thank you so much, and we'll speak to you next time.
See you guys.
Ciao.